up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Monday Halls Live. Man, I'm excited because we were both out sick last week, so we missed getting to hang out with everybody. But we are back, and we've got a special guest with us tonight. He's going to be showing off some really cool books as well. A couple of quick reminders for everybody. Hey, y'all make sure and drop Paul a line. He is pretty sick. I spoke to him earlier. And he's just dealing with that Houston crud, that kind of allergy thing that gets to all of us. So y'all make sure and drop him a line, keep him in your prayers, and let him know that we're pulling for him to get better. But he hopefully should be getting better later on this week, maybe in time for Wednesday or Thursday night show. But yeah, just drop him a line, let him know, hey, I hope you get to feeling better. So this is Carl's Collects Comics, and this is Monday Halls Live. This is our weekly web series where we showcase the past week to week and a half's worth of new comic book pickups. But it's not just new books. It's also vintage books, trade paperbacks, fun collectibles that we've found across the comic sphere. So tune in with us and hang out with us for the next hour to hour and a half as the three of us showcase some of the cool stuff that we picked up, give a couple capsule reviews, and give you some rationale and reasons for why we picked up what we did. In case you're not familiar or brand new to the channel, we also have other shows that go live. In addition to Monday Halls Live on Mondays at 10 p.m. Central, we also do the giveaway show on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Central. That's our weekly show where we showcase the news of the day, have different themes sometimes, different subjects, different panels, and we will go over, and then above all, we'll be promoting generosity in the comic book community by doing a giveaway. We'll give away a different comic book, sometimes other stuff and additional comic books every single week that we have an episode. So make sure you tune into that. This week, I'm looking forward to being joined by two of our new friends, Mr. Collector and Teresa Newell. Looking forward to having them on board, and hopefully Paul will be feeling up to it, but if not, that's okay. The three of us will keep it going. We're going to chop up some of the daily news, some of the news that we got going on, including Marvel's change in strategy, as well as Blue Beetle rumors and news. You know, I'm very excited about that one coming up. And also just some of the news and rumors we're hearing about DC as Mr. James Gunn has stepped into the co-chair role, and he's going to be leading out creatively. On Fridays, we've got Friday features. That is some Fridays. I'll be scripted, more in-depth videos that have a little bit more research, take a little bit more time. These are generally top 10 lists, interviews, local comic shop spotlights, and other featurettes. So make sure you also check back on Fridays. In addition to these three shows, we also have polls, surveys that go live on the channel under the community tab Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So make sure and check those out, 8 a.m. Central. You can vote in those. We're going to take a look at a couple of those on Wednesday as well. Also, if you're not currently following me on TikTok, I've started experimenting there with sharing short mini capsule reviews. So make sure and check me out. It's Carl's Collects Comics all the way across social medias on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and everywhere basically. So just search Carl's Collects Comics anywhere. Hey, let's do a couple of quick shout outs to the chat, and then we are going to go ahead and get things started with our panel tonight. Mr. Collector, what's up? You are first in line. Thanks for being here. El Green Machine. Hey, that's good to hear. If you have received books from me from the giveaway show, whatever episode, make sure and snap a picture of them, post them on Instagram, and tag me, because at the end of the year, I'd love to do some sort of a giveaway for all the people that have posted prizes online. But you got to post first. We got to have enough people doing that. Southern Comic Geek, what's up? This is probably the one time it's not Paul's fault. El Green Machine, yep, he is still sick. He was sounded under the weather this morning when I talked to him, but he is definitely on the mend. He said he's definitely feeling better than he did over the weekend. Let's see. Tony Stank, what's up? Good to see you as well. I heard that you also received your stuff. Hey, Mary Jimenez, it's good to see you as well. Happy Monday back at you. So, hey, everybody that is here, make sure and drop a like on the video so that we can get the algorithm going and let other subscribers know that we are live now. We are excited to have all of you here. Hey, what's up? There he is, Amazing Spider Flint. Good to see you. He was the winner of an amazing piece of art reproduction that Mr. Collector gave away last week. Man, that was a fun piece right there. So I cannot, man, that's going to be pretty cool. I want to see what Amazing Spider Flint is going to do with that. Well, hey, this is Monday Halls Live, and this is the panel tonight. Here we are. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are here, and we're excited to share with you. It's me, MT, and Michael Presas, the man with the legendary beard. Real quick, MT, before we get started, why don't you say a quick hello to everybody? Let everybody know how you're doing. Oh, wait, sorry, you muted. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
Rookie, first time. Good to see everybody. Thanks for showing up for Monday Halls here. I've got my stack of deliveries that came in today that I haven't opened yet, so maybe we'll take a look and see what they do. Got some cool stuff to show you, and some of the stuff that I'm personally stocking up on or trying to fill out runs that maybe we haven't talked about yet. I know Michael's got some great stuff that he was telling me about yesterday, so it should be a great show. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Let's take it to Mr. Michael Presses. Michael, say hi to everybody.
Hey guys, if y'all didn't see me yesterday on the auction, I had surgery Thursday. The doctor wants me to move my arm a lot, so I don't know if Instagram will let me post pictures of a wound, but I'll have to find out later if anybody wants to see a gross picture of my shoulder. But I am recovering, and like Carlos and MT said, got a lot of good stuff. I got slabs that I bought on Instagram auctions and stuff, with the one being a showstopper. I'll just leave it at that. If we get time tonight, maybe I got enough that all three of us probably got enough for 2 weeks. So maybe next week I'll have to show the rest. Thank you, Mary. I will.
Awesome. All right, guys. Hey, so I'm going to go ahead and get us kicked off and started, and then I'm going to pass it along to MT and down the line. So for this first round, I wanted to show the books that I snagged today when I went by my LCS. A couple of these are from last week, or I think actually everything's from last week. There's nothing new from this week yet, but I am excited about a couple of these. If you saw, I think if you saw Reels or the short here on YouTube, then you saw what my pick of the week is as far as new books. So I've been finding some really cool independent books. I talked about Traveling to Mars last week, and I talked about Specs last week. What's up, Bry Guy? Good to see you. I haven't seen them yet, but we'll have to take a look and see what they look like.
Yeah, I saw them.
My pick of the week for this week is a book. It's an independent book by Jason Aaron that was put out by Boom Studios. And number one, it came out last week, so this is from my pick of the week from last week, but I'm still talking about it this week because the new books haven't come out yet. So here's the deal. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. This is a meet cute. It's an apocalyptic meet cute between two young people that meet each other. Really fun and cool art. Just super cute. Two really endearing characters. There's the tough Esmeralda, who's world weary and cynical, and then there's the very, very kind of innocent and sheltered and very privileged Mako. I think I'm pronouncing it right. But here's a better shot of the two of them. This is the local comic shop day variant that's got some cool bits of foil. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can see it, but there's bits and pieces of foil, like his glasses are foil. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I went ahead. This is my second copy that I picked up. Just had it had a fun first issue. It was not quite to the Something is Killing the Children level. of my reaction to the first issue. However, I do think that this is definitely one, if you can still find copies of it at your local comic shop, and you can find one that's the 9.6 or 9.8, go ahead and grab it. Definitely recommend it. A lot of fun. Yeah, thank you, Mary Jimenez. I bought this at my local comic shop. It says Wanted. Yeah.
And who's the publisher on that book you got there?
This is Boom Studios.
Boom
So
Studios.
Boom has been consistently putting out winners. They're also the ones that put out Something is Killing the Children, also the ones that put out Grimm, and quite a few others. So this is a great, it's a fun story. I liked it because it didn't, there was not a lot of like kind of weird, like, ideology or stuff. It was just very straightforward, very fun. Two cool characters, but then the end had a neat little interesting, I don't know if I would call it a twist, but it was just kind of a reveal that I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. It was kind of like a flash forward in time, which is neat. It's just really, really cool. So I recommend Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. I also recommend, if you caught 2 weeks ago, I think my Monday hauls, I talked about Traveling to Mars and Specs. I love Traveling to Mars, really like Specs, and I love Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. I also picked up the local comic shop day, and like I said, this is my second copy of Cover A, so it's one that I'm going ahead and picking up a couple here and there. There's a glow-in-the-dark version also that I think I want to try to find. I should have gotten them, but sometimes I get burned on these independent books. This week also, also last week, Blue Beetle Graduation Day. I have not read it. It's number one in a 6-part series, and I also picked up the B cover at my local comic shop. This is a cardstock one, but there's also some really cool incentive variants that I'm going ahead and grabbing those off of eBay because I wasn't able to get. There's a 1 in 25, and then there's a really sweet 1 in 50 by David Marquez that I'm really interested in and keeping an eye out for. So this one kind of got people going because it's the introduction of Yellow Beetle, who's an antagonist, and then there's also the appearance of vehicles for like pink and blue. No, not pink and blue, pink and red Beetle. I don't know if they're doing like a Power Rangers thing or what the kind of it is. I don't know if I'm going to be a fan of it, but I'm just kind of, it's Blue Beetle, so I want to pick it up and I want to see what they're going to do with the character. So I'm hoping for the best. Mary Jimenez, I got it at my local comic shop. So the Grogu shirt, I got it from my local comic book shop. I don't know where they got it from. I went through their plus size shirts and I picked up about 5 of them because they had a sale on them and I needed my geeky shirts for the shows. So this was one of them that I picked up. Yeah, so it was just my local comic shop. Last thing, so I have more copies of this that I'll get to in a second. So G.I. Joe issue number 300 came out last week. This was the final issue being published by IDW, also written by Larry Hama. As you know, I've talked about it, and you've seen it also on the Strictly Comics channel. Larry Hama is going to be appearing here in the greater Houston area at PowerCon. Pop Culture PowerCon. And that's going to be happening in spring of 2023. So it's coming right up in 3 months. Really looking forward to it. And so yeah, and just, it's the final issue being published by IDW of G.I. Joe. So couldn't pass it up. So this is the cover B. This has a lot of the villains. I really like the artwork on this one. It does have various stories written in it. So it's not just Hama and the primary creative team, but there are the ones that get credited primarily. Yes, Walmart also has some cool Star Wars shirts. Here is cover C, which I also really like this one. It's kind of a versus, some of the main characters from G.I. Joe and Cobra going up against each other right there. So this is the C cover. Then here's the D cover. I wasn't as big a fan of this one, but I went ahead and picked it up anyway because my local comic shop, Bedrock City, was cool enough to grab one of each for me because they knew I'd want them. So that's kind of a cool little face-off cover there as well. And then this is the retailer incentive. I could not tell by the signature who did this because it's kind of match, but I just really like it. It's kind of got a J. Scott Campbell vibe to it. So I just really like this one as well. This was also the retail incentive, and it was pretty inexpensive, so I picked this one up as well because they were kind enough to do it for me. So those are just the books that I snagged today when I went by my local comic shop. I'm also going to be sharing, here's my other copy of Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. 2 more new book pickups from, I think, last week. As you know, in Avengers Forever, number 11, there's some developments with Robbie Reyes as the All-Writer. And then this one, so Michael Presas was actually the one who told me, hey, you need to pay more attention to this. I wasn't as big a fan of the that Prelude book to the JSA number 1, but Michael, on your recommendation, I went ahead and picked up JSA number 1 and was really, really impressed with it. Like, wow, I really like it. Like, I was not expecting this direction that they took. I was not expecting how they approach the story. I feel like of all the recent stuff I've read of Jeff Johns, this is probably the best.
Really?
I feel like this is better than Doomsday.
I have that comic. I'm gonna have to read that then.
I'm serious. Like MT, like the throw. Like I feel like he finally. Like I feel like the time jumping that he tried in Doomsday Clock, but I didn't feel he quite executed. I feel like he nailed it here.
Okay.
So I'm like really impressed with this. I'm going to be looking for some of the ratio incentives, especially that foil one, because I think that I think there's something here. So there's been some cool DC books recently that I've been like, okay, I kind of like what you're doing. So this one, I'm going to, I'm definitely going to be sticking with this one. I'll see. Hey, Marshall Warpath, thank you for stopping by. Mary Jimenez, I'm glad that the guys can help you out in the chat with making sure to get you some swag. But hey, I'm going to go ahead and pass it along to MT and let him take us through his first thing. I still got plenty of books to show on the next round. So MT, why don't you take it away?
All right, guys. Got home from work a little late, so I didn't prep my cold opens. I was trying to do that here, but we'll get to that here in a second. I will say one of the pickups that I just got recently here is I got the full set of Hood, the first appearance of the Hood, the first run. Now, the Hood is kind of a crossover character. He's a new villain. He was only created in, early 2000s?
Yeah, he's new.
Right, and he created this gang of all the supervillains got together to create this gang during the launch of New Avengers, right? So to give the New Avengers somebody to fight, they had the big baddie gang, and he was the leader of that gang, and his love interest was Madame Mask. It was interesting to see her, but he's got, he burnishes 2 handguns, but he's got this hood that gives him powers from a demon, and Doctor Strange comes across him and says, "You're fooling with powers you don't understand." And anybody who's read Doctor Strange, if he dabbles too much with the powers of Zom, like he'll try and tap into the demon Zom's power, and then he'll get taken over by Zom. It's something very similar like that in the Hood, but still a very cool character. The Hood is supposed to be appearing in the Ironheart series. It's still kind of a pricey book. It's always been kind of a pricey book. Difficult one to pick up. But what I really want to spend a little time here because of how influential this series was to me as a comic book collector and a reader was the Annihilation Wave. Okay, the Annihilation Wave was in the mid-2000s, like 2006, I think, and it launched the modern version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. It also did a great job of recapping the last 30 or 40 years worth of cosmic-based characters and storylines, right? So Marvel has its like street level heroes, Tales, and then it's got kind of like the Earth based hero stuff, and then it's got the cosmic realm. And I'm big into the cosmic. It dabbles in physics and science, a lot of existentialism, some philosophy, and some really deep stuff in there. And it really hooked me. A lot of the themes in this book, and it was so well written. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Annihilation Wave was some of the best writing that came out of Marvel ever. And I think it's worth picking up, certainly if you can find them in back bins, stuff like that. So I'll show you some of the stuff I've been buying extra copies of. I talked about her before. There was a couple like 4-part minis from the original Annihilation run, and this is the Quasar, who is Phyla Bell, who became the second Quasar that we know about, right? Which I should transition to that. If you can pick this up, 90s. This is Quasar's first volume. They're probably pretty cheap. You can get them in back bins. I think that this is a good run to pick up cheap. First, the Cosmic Avenger, now in his own book. His first appearance was in in Hulk, a Hulk book, which has gotten rather pricey as of late. So if that's a little out of your price range, getting his number 1 in volume 1 is probably a good idea. Okay, back to Quasar. So Quasar was Phyla Bell, right, through the Kree, and then she becomes this character called the Martyr. And there's the sword that she has, really cool character design, really cool weaponry. She gets into this relationship with Heather Douglas, who is Drax's daughter, Moondragon, and this is her in her Moondragon form. Really cool story. Deals with a lot of the cosmic entities. And here's another one you see in the back bin. It's the Annihilation Saga. So this recaps the whole saga. It gives you all the backstories, the character development. Brings you up to speed so you don't have to read the whole set, right? Super Skrull Kl'rt, who was a longtime villain, gets to be kind of a hero in this run. Great 4-part series. Ronan, kind of longtime villain, becomes a hero in this series too, in the Annihilation. And then, of course, the artwork is just phenomenal in this. This was the original Annihilation. You have Thanos being involved. This is when they relaunched Nova, which was just a phenomenally. They turned Nova into kind of like a dorky kid that flies around into a serious hardcore warrior in this. I'm not going to spoil how Annihilation ends, but it is Nova who brings the pain in the end and stops the Nihilist. There's the prologue, great book, talks about how Peter Quill allowed the Phalanx in, which was out of the X-Men comics, the techno-organic virus that allowed them to take over people. Anyway, still kind of a pricey set to get. You can get it in a trade paperback. Well worth the read. So then, after the Annihilation Wave, launched the Guardians of the Galaxy title. And this hooked me big time. This was such a great series. I pulled this one out in particular because it had the poster in it.
Oh, wow.
May in 2008. So I used to get the posters off the LCS counter, and I'd always stick them in the bags when I was collecting them. It's always fun to find those again when I'm digging through the box. That and the little cards, they used to give the promo cards out at the counter
I love
for
those
events. So I always find those stuffed in the box. And so, of course, at the same time, the Nova series kicked off. And, of course, the Nova has one of my all-time favorite artists, Adi Granov, who did a lot of these covers, right? And these are some of my all-time favorites of Nova and Gamora. He just knocked it out of the park with these. Let's see if I've got my favorite Gamora one pulled or not. But at any rate, I just kind of want to go through these quickly because I think if you can find these in back bins or trade paperbacks, it is well worth the read. The writing is phenomenal. They don't write stories like that today. I'm struggling to find anything worth reading being printed in this day and age, but I am going to keep trying. And like any good thing that Marvel does, they beat it to death. So there was Annihilation Conquest, and then they went in and did Annihilators, and they just rebooted it a ton of times, right? But Realm of Kings came after that. it was not nearly as good. In fact, I wouldn't even recommend reading it other than they expanded upon Darkhawk and made him into a much more complex character.
Well, isn't it a different writer on that one?
War of Kings?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I think the Annihilation was Andy Lambert, and they did a real good. They were from DC. They used to write Justice League, and I always loved their and Legionnaires.
Because it was Griffin and Abnett that wrote these.
Keith Giffen. They're masters of cosmic storytelling.
And of course, I read Guardians of the Galaxy, collecting it when I was a younger kid, before like in early high school, late middle school. I got one of these from Michael, as a matter of fact. I've got an issue of this from you, and this is one of my all-time favorite 90s hollow covers. Isn't that awesome?
Yep.
Wolverine in his bionic skeleton. And Doctor Doom is in this one. So anytime I see this book, I'm buying it, as long as it's not beat to hell, right?
Yep.
As far as new, I don't know if I showed this before. I don't know how I got this. I must have got this in an all in the box lot or something, but I heard that this is a very good story. Heard good things about this. Don't know anything about it. But I do have it, and hopefully I will get time to read it. Okay. Another thing that I've been collecting that's kind of like related to Guardians of the Galaxy is anybody who wielded Captain America's shield. I've been trying to buy the first appearance so this is Jack Flag. He carried Captain America's shield. Vance Astro, who was the original Guardians of the Galaxy commander, and then he comes back later on. He also wielded the shield. And in fact, in Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 2, they find it floating in a chunk of ice in space. Awesome story. I know there's been a lot of Groot talk. I don't know if this is the Groot everybody's been chasing, or the Groot series where they redo Baby Groot. I kind of showed this the other night, and I don't know where I did it exactly, where I hid this on me, but I really want to make sure people understand this. I should have pulled it out. I'll get to that next time, because I do want to talk about something that there's a crazy first appearance that's way undervalued and under the radar that I think is worth picking up, especially because it's dirt cheap, right? So the other thing I've been filling out that's kind of related to a lot of this is the Warlock in the Infinity Watch series, right? So this was post-Infinity Gauntlet. Kind of the fallout after Adam Warlock took control of the Infinity Gauntlet, the aftermath, right? So that's the first full appearance of Infinity Watch. So you can see the lineup here. Drax the Destroyer in his WWF belt. Gamora, I was a little disappointed. I understand that the girl that they cast to beat Gamora is an A-list actress. She's very good. I would have loved to see like them put like an MMA fighter girl in there, like Holly Holmes or somebody, because Gamora is the most dangerous woman in the galaxy. All right, she is hardcore, and I wish they would have shown her a little bit more powerful in the MCU. One can only hope. I know she's only about 90 pounds soaking wet, but I would have liked to seen somebody a little bit more physically dynamic in the role. But hey, longtime fan of Gamora. This is her all-time classic look there. Heather Douglas is on the team. There's Pip the Troll. And I have not read all of these, right? But it's something I'm looking forward to do, Living Tribunal, right? So at any rate, I've been buying a lot of these, trying to fill them out. And it's so interesting to me because I think it's relevant to this day and age that Thanos is the big bad in the cosmic universe. And sometimes he actually is a good guy, because gray lines, there's always gray. But his what he represents is nihilism, right? Nihilism is something that we struggle with in our society today, and I think that's very relevant in a lot of the Thanos stories that are out there. Like Rick and Morty is very popular. The main themes in Rick and Morty is the nihilism that Rick has.
Yep.
Right? So it's very poignant, good stories to read, I think good things to learn. learn from and kind of explore what nihilism is and why that's a bad thing. There was this trade paperback or this run called The Infinity Abyss, and it's kind of almost like a what-if story that it's a one-off. It's like its own kind of sidestep of continuity, and it's a trade paperback that I've owned and read multiple times. It's a little out there. It's a little heavy reading as far as some of the themes in there, but well worth picking up if you can get it cheap in a trade paperback. All right, let's see what I got in this shipment here. This looks, oh yeah.
What?
Michael will like these.
Oh yeah.
Tyndale's Miss Meow. Big Jamie Tyndale fan.
Yep.
He is. I will say he has a very distinctive style. He doesn't show a lot of skin on his art, but he does do a lot of pinup type girls. I met his girlfriend / wife, maybe. I don't know. She was lovely. I talked to her. My wife and I talked to her for maybe 20 minutes or so at the convention we went to. She was very approachable. He wasn't there, but she was. So at any rate, love it. So obviously, I picked up 6 copies.
Wow.
Here's the other one that I really liked. Paul showed this the other night on the. Paul showed this the other night on the auction, so I bought a couple copies of that. Miss Meow I've not read. I just like the cover art. I've been buying a bunch of them, so that's what those were. There was part 2 of that package. What did I do with that? I hit it on myself, apparently. Oh, well. I get going, and then I put stuff down. I have no idea where it goes. All right, I'll open one more box, then we'll kick it over to Michael here. Hopefully, I got my next couple copies of The Sentry #1. That's another one I've been chasing down. Tough book to get in high grade because it's got that solid black cover. The Sentry is kind of like the Superman type power level, although he's much more powerful than Superman. But he's got an alter ego, an evil side, so everything that he does good. The Void side of him goes and does equally bad things. It's kind of like the duality of man, or the duality of God, that he, creates obstacles for you to overcome, for you to grow, type of situation.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, this is something I got from a fellow online seller or auctioneer, Cat60. I got these from. He had a bunch of Iron Man. It's a run I've been trying to fill out. He had a bunch of high-grade copies. I bought every single one he had. And this is one I didn't read. It's kind of one of the titles I'm yet to fill out. And
oh, wow.
Are they Jack Kirby covers?
That's a nice lot.
Some of them are. And then that's Madam Mask, right?
Yeah.
Madam Mask, and then these should all be Iron Man books too. But Iron Man is kind of cooled off right now, so it's you can usually get high-grade copies at a reasonable price if that's your thing, filling out runs. I wish anymore I look for cheap trade paperbacks because, like, I used to buy the digital copies, but my God, they've gotten expensive to buy digital copies. So I'm not going to tell you what I paid for these. Take that off. Look through the rest of these. Is this something either of you read back in the day? Did you read Iron Man back in the day?
Somewhat. Bob Layton era and John Romita Jr.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say Bob Layton was my area. So when he has the kind of like when the masthead was like a, it was like that blocky, big.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yep.
Yeah. And the Silver Centurion armor. That was my jam right there. Yeah, that was kind of my time. Hey, real quick, is my audio coming through?
Yeah.
Yep, it is. These are we got
Ant-Man. Better?
It's all right. It's not bad. I don't think it's bad.
Okay.
So it looks like they're like in football stadiums in multiple issues here. That was kind of weird. Like that's a football stadium, and maybe it was the other one they were at a stadium. Yeah, like that. Anyways, we'll keep moving on. Keep moving on. So the tank in a football field, and we got more Ant-Man here. Classic Ant-Man, the Hulk, but at what cost? At what cost indeed? Here's one I have multiple copies of for some reason. No idea why. I don't know who these guys are. The Blood Brothers are back, Iron Man. They kind of look like the early version of the Thing.
I think I almost picked that one up. The Blood Brothers.
Under Siege. So that's a Michael book there. Under Siege. Right?
Yep.
Came from outer space. Space Spores. That's a storyline you see in tons of places. In fact, Planet Hulk was really big on the Space Spores. But Star Trek used to be too. There's like one of the weirdo characters that they used in the movie. This is kind of Backlash, which is what I think Whiplash was supposed to be in the movies, minus the ponytail. Iron Man. This is back when he had the mustache and looked more like. Because they said that the MCU version was kind of based on Elon Musk, but the original Iron Man was not based on Elon Musk. It was based upon Howard Hughes, who was in the movies and created airplanes and created the modern version of the airplanes that the Japanese stole and created their infamous Zero planes that they bombed the U.S. with. The Serpent Squad in this one. Look at that. It looks like the He-Man characters. This must be that looks just like the He-Man stuff. So 1982. So I guess maybe this is too early for the Serpent He-Man stuff. That didn't come out till 85. And we got a Moon Knight crossover. But anyways, that's what I got in this cold open. I got one more box. Come back and see me. I'm going to kick it over to Michael. I've been on long enough.
Is that the first meeting of Moon Knight and Iron Man?
I do believe so. I do believe it is.
I think so. Yeah, I think it is.
I do believe so.
Key book.
All right, Michael, what you got for us?
All right. From local LCS, I'll start with the LCS pickups first. Siren's Gate number 1. I picked up number 1 and number 2. Kind of a spec book, and just like Carlos already showed, I got Justice Society of America. I picked it up also, and like kind of piggybacking on what Carlos said, Jeff Johns is the one that also wrote the first series of Justice Society that Alex Ross did all the covers for, that became very, very popular. So it's him back again, and rightfully so. And I picked up Lovesick, the Merca and Dolfo cover. The little spec book also. See what happens.
As an Image book?
Right. Image, yes. I think it might be a ratio book, but it's a variant. Anyways, picked up Star Wars Yoda number 1, and from continuing with Star Wars, I picked up Star Wars High Republic, the main cover and the variant.
Now these are recent releases, Michael.
Right,
these
right. These were like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And then this was 2 weeks ago. Picked up 2 copies of Harley, Batman and Joker, the Deadly Duo. Picked those up. And from continuing with Gun Hunting, number 3 came out not that long ago. It's the latest issue, so I picked up a couple variants of them. This is the cosplay cover.
Real quick, Bry Guy, you want a good Silver Surfer run? Requiem Requiem from the early 2000s was a great run. Go ahead, Michael.
And then here's another one, and then here's the poly bag. Of course, got to get that. And from DC, I got some also from Punchline. This is the latest one, Punchline number 2 by Sozo Mayaka, which is becoming very popular very quickly. And this is Punchline and Catwoman, so I want to see what happens in the next issue. And I also picked up the Harley Quinn, the John Boy Myers variant. Lots of color on this one. And kind of like what Carlos did, I did the same thing, but I got the foil of the Blue Beetle.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I had to go to the Bay for that one.
Did you get one?
Yeah, I got a set that has one of each, including the 1 in 25. The only one I'm missing right now is the 1 in 50.
Okay. And I also got the local comic shop day variant to 8
Yep.
pennies.
Yeah.
Might be getting another one. I'm not sure. Some of them were damaged, I heard.
Yeah. Well, it's a all white cover. It's a hard one to get in high grade.
So maybe that'll spike up. I don't know. That's a spec that I'm drawing, seeing what happens. And then for the, I'll show these before the after midnight. Wildstorm number 1 came out, so I got the J. Scott Campbell cover.
Nice.
Can't go
What's
wrong.
up, Tricky Trapster?
No, hard to go down with old J. Scott.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
He's done a lot of cool variants recently.
And also the Sozo Mayaka cover.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
nice.
Like I said, yeah, I had to pick this up.
Right.
Who is that by?
Sozo Micah. She's the one that did.
She did that other. Didn't she do that one Emma Frost book too?
She did this one and this one. This her.
Very nice.
And then for the After Midnight covers
Uh-oh.
that they're not that bad.
You
Wait
got
a
6
second, wait a
minutes.
second.
You got 6 minutes, man.
Yeah, they're just cosplay covers.
Cosplay covers. Yep.
Yep.
A lot of great Red Sonja cosplay covers. Oh, Sheena. There you go.
I like this one a lot for some reason. I don't know if I showed this before or I don't know, but it's just
I got
don't know,
that too.
just something about this. I'm gonna show it again if I mistakenly already showed it. But this is the number 1,
So that's a versus. So who wins?
huh?
Red Sonja.
Say what?
I said who wins, and MT didn't even, without thinking twice, he just said Red Sonja.
Without question.
But that's all that I got from the catch up on. If you had any questions or anything about the latest picks of what I got and why I got them, like I said, John Boy Myers, if you can catch it cover price, that's
yeah.
what I did. And like I said, with her drawing Punchline and Catwoman together, I haven't seen an ad saying what number 25 is. 50. This is number 49. So I haven't read or seen any solicitations for number 50. So I don't know if they're gonna duel it out in the pages or if she's even doing a variant cover that depicts it. But I'm hoping that it is. That's why I picked up number 49, hoping that it'll continue to number 50. And then, like I said, with Harley, this is Mark Silvestri. Just couldn't pass it up. It was available. I pushed Paul out the way, and as a matter of fact, I did it twice. Just couldn't go wrong with that. But put it back to you, Carlos, because on the next ones I got are what I bought, back issues that I bought.
Nice. I can't wait to get to it. All right, everybody. Hey, if you have not hit that like button, make sure and do so. This is Monday Hauls Live, and we're going through our pickups from the past week to week and a half. It's actually been a little bit longer than that because we were off sick last week, MT and I. We're also joined by Mr. Michael Presses tonight. He brought some of the new hotness for this past week. Man, and there are some really good books that are coming out right now. You know, whether you buy for covers or to complete runs or just looking for some good story stuff, there's some really cool stuff that's happening right now. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get into some of the. So these were from a sale at one of the shops on Black Friday. I went to a couple shops. Real quick, Southern Comic Geek, that is false. Those cosplay covers were not my pick of the week. They were definitely Michael's. Here, let's get into these. So, okay, so I've been, I've been a huge fan of Daredevil Born Again since I was 13 years old. I received a copy of the graphic novel and read it and just loved it. You know, I didn't even fully understand everything that was going on in it, but I just liked it. Something about it appealed to me. And so over the years, I've continued to go back and reread it. Actually gave my copy of it to my son last night and said, hey, why don't you check this out and read it? Because I was telling him something about the Born Again individual issues. Well, I'd never picked them up. So I said, okay, so a little side quest that I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the copies of Daredevil Born Again, or the individual issues for it, so I can have that run for my personal collection. So this has some prelude material featuring Gladiator. This is Daredevil number 226. This is about a 9.0 right here. It could definitely use a press, but it is very nice and clean. This is Daredevil number 228, a direct edition, and this is at least a 9.4. Definitely needs a press, but it's a 9.4 as is. And here's the cool thing. This, I noted on this has the whitest, brightest pages I've ever seen.
Huh.
I mean, like right up there, almost like Baxter paper white. So yeah, I was shocked by this, and yeah, it was just sitting in a back issue bin, no telling how long.
On the cover? Who is that on the cover there?
It's Matt Murdock.
Oh, that is Matt Murdock?
Yeah, because this is part of the Daredevil Born Again storyline, and this is
Foggy Nelson.
No, this is Matt Murdock.
Sure that's not Foggy Nelson?
I'm 100% sure, because look, the red
yeah, you're right though.
And then the glasses. No, it's 100%. This is Matt Murdock here.
So what's the number one first thing you look for? You can tell page cover if you're flipping through a back bin. What's the dead giveaway to good page color if you're just looking at the front cover?
I mean, you can kind of look down and see it. Like, I mean, I guess if it's really brown, I can tell. But this one, I didn't expect it, but I just remember, like, when I was opening them and going through them and flipping through them, and to like rebag and board, I was like, whoa, this is uncanny. So
usually the price box or the logo box at the top is a very good indicator of page color. Page color before you get too deep into it. So you can tell right away if you see some tanning in that box or some shadowing, that you're not going to have white pages.
Huh.
See how gleaming white your price box is?
Yep. I'm looking at it. Yeah. So I was, well, that's cool. That's a good tip. And yeah, I mean, it's in really good shape too. I wrote that it needed a press because I think it's got like a little bit of like a little divot that goes along the spine here, but there's no ticks or anything. So so really fun to add this to the collection. I also picked up from the same Daredevil from the same run, number 233. This one was only about a 9.0, needs a clean and press as well, but also, these were in really good high grade. They've just been chilling there for a while. And so, like I said, I am grabbing all the Daredevil Born Again books that I come across. There are some others.
So who was on that cover? Captain America? Was that Duke?
Yep.
Nuke.
Or Nuke. Sorry.
Yeah. Captain America and Nuke and Daredevil fighting. So that's it was cool the way they worked the Avengers in, but it wasn't too overbearing. And then Captain America was in it as well. So another one I picked up also for Daredevil. I've just been kind of reliving childhood and stuff and picking up some of these nostalgia books from Daredevil. This is Daredevil 236, the anniversary cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a 9.0. Still needs a clean and press, but a 9.0. And then this one I almost put up for sale, but I'm so glad I didn't, because I picked it up to match the matching Captain America Zek cover. So here's the underlit cityscape Daredevil, but there's a matching one that is Captain America, where he's kneeling on an edge, underlit by the city. But I love the Zek cover. But then I realized when I was flipping through it, it's McFarlane Interiors.
Really?
You didn't know?
Yeah. I was like, I was so glad I didn't sell it at that point, because I said no, because this is an 8.0 before clean and press, and I said, you know what, I want to go ahead and keep this for the PC. So I've got it here. I've got it in my with my Comic Clear backer boards. And yeah, so this was another one to add.
Michael, how many McFarlane did Daredevil do?
One.
Or Daredevil did that was it. So that is the only McFarlane Daredevil.
Yep.
Is it really?
It is. Wow. So MT and Carlos was today this old, and to find out that McFarlane did a Daredevil book.
Yeah. Nice.
So
I bet you didn't know he did a G.I. Joe.
Yeah, no, I knew that. I knew that. But I did. Well, here's what it was. It wasn't that I didn't know he did a Daredevil. It was that I didn't realize that this Zek cover had McFarlane Interiors.
I had no idea.
That blew my mind. And because it's an iconic. This is a more iconic Zek cover. It's one that we've seen before, and we recognize the style of doing the underlighting thing that he does. But that it was Interiors by McFarlane was kind of cool. So, okay, so I also picked up Man-Thing number 13. It's super low grade.
Nice.
I am, as you know, I've been grabbing Booster Golds. Found a couple of copies of the number one from the 2000 series. So went ahead and grabbed these. This is tied into 52, that weekly series from back then. Also found a couple of copies of Green Lantern number 1. Those were nice. Demon, I have some of those. This was book 1 by Matt Wagner of a limited series, book 1. So I snagged this, and then also snagged Demon. The Demon Hell is Earth number 1. This is a mini series.
So is he palling around with John Constantine in those ones?
No, that's Jason Blood, his host.
Yeah, I don't think he would, not at that point. More recently he does.
Yeah, that's much later. Yeah, is when he, but here this is just that's just Jason Blood, his alter ego. All right, so I found this one, Green Lantern number 195. This is the first. It's Guy Gardner as Green Lantern, I think, or like the first is him like starting as like the regular run as Green Lantern. Right, Ben Green Lantern number 1. So I found this one. Also, this one had a really nasty kind of bottom here, but I still, because it's All-Star Squadron, and yet again, another McFarlane book, the origin of Dr. Fate, right here. With McFarlane art.
Oh, really? I've got that one.
Yeah. This is McFarlane. It's a McFarlane cover, and it's McFarlane Interiors. Also written by Roy Thomas. So this one is actually a little bit more in demand book, and it's a pricier book because it is the origin of Dr. Fate. But All-Star Squadron, as you know, I've been picking those up for a while, for a couple months. But when I came across this one, I instantly recognized it. And even though it was low grade, it was half off, so I went ahead and got it. Infinity Inc. by this is the first issue of them. This is another low price one. Not really high grade. It's Spine Tick City here, but I did go ahead and get it because it's another Roy Thomas book. Last one from this stack was Prince Namor, the Submariner, number 16. Really cool,
all-time
creepy
favorite.
cover. Huh?
That's my all-time favorite Submariner cover.
Really?
Yes,
Really? Okay, that's good to know.
hands down.
That's good to know. I love this. Just the sea that time forgot. So this is, lower grade, mid grade copy, but went ahead and put that on there. Bin Transformer slab. What's up, Spider Girl? Good to see you. All right, so that is the stack for this round. I'm going to show 3 quick collected editions that I picked up, and then I'm going to move it on to MT. So was at Half Price Books with my son a few weeks ago, and came across in the clearance section for like, I think, $4 or $5 a piece, 52 volume 1 and 52 volume 2. So for $4 or $5 a piece, couldn't pass it up. There's a total of 4 volumes. This is a weekly series that was done back between right after Infinite Crisis. Amazing stuff. Lots of cool stories. Lots of cool character moments. Features the introduction of Batwoman, the rise of Black Adam to power and Kahndaq,
And the question.
The redemption of Elongated Man, the transition of the Question identity from Vic Sage to Renee Montoya. Lots of cool stuff. Oh, and then Booster Gold goes on a really soul-searching big thing. So it's 52 issues. There's 4 volumes. I got 2 of them. Really, really cool. Last collected edition I want to share. As you know, I've been pumping these, and the reason is because I think it's one of the easiest, best, most cost-effective ways to get a hold of the quality Silver Age material. It's the digest-sized Mighty Marvel Masterworks collections. This I go after the facsimile covers. This is the facsimile for Tales to Astonish 76, Submariner and Hulk. But this is the collected edition, Tales to Astonish 70 through 80, and then Daredevil number 70. So it's 10 Silver Age.
Are the interiors color?
The what?
Are the interior pages color?
Yep.
Because I always had those Marvel Masterworks that were all black and white, and God.
Oh yeah. I hate that. Yeah. That's why I got so excited about these, because I thought, okay, it's another collected edition. But then it's really nice color. For the price, they are all $15.99 a piece. And I've showed them off before, but I'll show them for anybody that hasn't seen them yet. It's not that was the first Submariner one that they showed. I also have the Incredible Hulk one, the Black Panther one, the Daredevil, and then Spider-Man. So super cool reproduction covers. They also, now if you just want the reading material, I always go for like kind of a little bit more collectible thing sometimes with this, but you can also get them with just basic covers on them as well. These were exclusive to brick and mortar local comic shops only. So that was the only place you could find them. You can still find them on eBay. I'm still looking for the Fantastic Four one and the X-Men one. Eventually I'll get the Avengers one, but those are the other 2 main ones that I wanted. But yeah, so really great cost-effective way to read the Silver Age material. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass things. They are great, Edwin Price, and their cool thing, they're digest sized. So this is our standard comic book, and you can see how the digest, what size the digest is. It's great. Fits in a backpack or a briefcase. Easy, compact reading material that you can transport with you anywhere, and very, very, very cost effective. That actually is not a slab. That's a raw. Transformers number 8, the first Dinobots. It's just in a, it's on a stand and in a top loader. So hey, let's go ahead and move this right along. Open your tails twist on. I'm going to do that in just a second, Edwin Price. Hey, I'm going to move right along to Mr. MT. MT, what do you got for round 2?
So interesting that Evan Price is here because he will appreciate this. I'm buying a lot of the magazine size stuff to fill out some runs. There's been a couple of my regulars have been looking for stuff. So this was like a really cheap couple of books, and so I really started reading through these. A lot of times if I get like a high grade magazine or something like that, or even a comic book, I just don't read it because I don't want to finger it up and stuff. But this is one I've been able to really go through. And this was, I showed some of this the other night on the auction, kind of like making fun of Paul, or having fun with Paul. I shouldn't say that. Wasn't making fun. Yeah, we were having fun. But like this is all the special effects of these old monster movies. Here's one I didn't even know existed. 20 million miles to Earth. Look at the monster in this sucker. Edwin Price probably has a model of this, I imagine, because he's got a model of all these old toys. Here he is, like fighting an elephant. Look at that guy. Kind of reminds me of. He kind of reminded me of this guy. 20 million miles to Earth, right? I didn't know that because this is movie monsters, right? Which is kind of playing off the popularity of famous monsters of filmland. Edwin Price has worn the t-shirts a couple times. This is kind of the seminal monster movie magazine from Warren, which was a spin-off of Curtis and Marvel, right? Because Marvel got around their horror, the comic code for horror. So there's stuff like this, the old Wolfman and the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah. Lon Chaney Jr.
And there was actually a really interesting story because then they transitioned to real monsters of the world here. And they've got this great article on the Loch Ness Monster. Several pages long. Here's what I thought was really very, very interesting. Is that I was thinking that Marvel produced this, and it's not a Marvel production, but it had this big Disney, talking about Disney monsters in this. Didn't know there was very many of those. But 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is about the only thing I could ever think of, right? Until Fantasia, which is much later than this. Fantasia was in the 80s. I believe that, right? Again, super iconic. The Day the Earth Stood Still. How iconic is that, right? Obviously, still homage to this day. Keanu Reeves did the reboot.
Yeah.
Then they had. Look how young Leonard Nimoy looks in that. God, he could be 20 years old in that. And then a good old William Shatner, who I missed by mere minutes this past year at Fan Expo with his Femme Fatale. But at any rate, Monsters of Filmland. This is the 20,000 miles from Earth. Mr. Jackal, you have to tell me if that's worth watching or not. The missing links. It's looking a little vivacious there, right? And then there's like screenshot synopsis games in this. So like Monsters of Filmland, if you're into movie monsters, if you can find them, these are hard to find. I know Mr. Jackal has quite an extensive collection of these, but they are kind of hard to come by, certainly hard to come by in high grade. If that's your thing, this is the seminal title for that, right? Marvel did their own version, which was Monsters of the Movie, and this is the Spock cover. Love this cover. But they've got Martian Invasion, the same. This is like the same. Like he must have bought these all in the same month. The guy that sold these to me, because it has the same movies in this one. But the late great Leonard Nimoy, right? Anyway, these cool stuff. if you're into that type, this is the one. I know Morticia Adams is super hot right now after that the TV show with the gal on it.
That's Vampira.
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
I thought that was Morticia. Okay, so I got this box from one Michael Presses, who's sending me all his dirty used porn CDs.
Hey, that's all. I just wanted you to laugh. That was all.
Jeez. Get my gloves out.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Tell everybody what this is. This is kind of like a pull box, so you're gonna see all kinds of.
It was an ash can that came out of a I think it was Comic Scene magazine.
Omega Men. Don't know much about them. I don't buy much DC, especially 80s, 90s DC, so I don't know.
That's the first variant cover that anybody ever's done.
Oh, this is the 85 variant cover?
Yes, the
Okay.
world's first variant cover.
Well, that I do know about.
And John Byrne just did a great job on that story, depowering Superman.
I love Thulsa Doom. Thulsa Doom's a great character. I mistakenly sold my only copy of his first appearance here recently, and I'm glad I saw this because it reminded me I need to get another one. Signed by who, Michael?
Will Conrad.
Will Conrad. Great artwork. I can remember reading these Captain Americas back in the day against the Serpent Society. Oh, here we go. JLA and Wildcats. Wildcats is from what, the pockets and shoulder pads era?
Well, Jim Lee, goodness.
48 action pages of a Wolverine and Sabretooth ripoff with Max. Yeah. Is that Max on there? Or is
Rob Liefeld property.
Yeah, he likes to wear, all his characters like to have gloves on. You have noticed that. This is an itch. This looks like a Norman Rockwell. What's going on here, Michael?
That's Gun Honey #1.
That is a Norman Rockwell-esque artwork. Interesting. That's a Gun Honey book. That's going over here. That's going in the PC. Okay. Oh, everybody loves Little Street Fighter, Little Chung Lee. Street Fighter Masters. Great one. Oh, a little Vampy photo cosplay cover. Vampy Year 1. You know, I had Vampirella issue #1. It was kind of in rough shape, but I gave it to my LCS on consignment, and I don't think he ever gave me money for that. I know he sold it. We saw this a little bit ago. Some Sheena, Queen of the Jungle cosplay cover. Good Avengers, Hercules versus the Wrecking Crew here, and Mr. Hyde's in on this.
That might be Mark Jewelers. You
need to be marking your Mark Jewelers. I know that they are.
Yep.
Ooh, an emerald green Mark the Jeweler. Those are not. Those are
the
very
best storylines of the Avengers.
What was that?
That was the best storyline of the Avengers.
You think so, huh?
Where Zemo gets his Masters of Evil, and they raid the Avengers mansion, put Hercules in a coma, Blackout kill. He has a brain aneurysm. That guy was really too powerful.
I love that. I love that storyline. I actually have that storyline because I went and found it. Yeah, and then Mr. Hyde beats Jarvis.
Right.
Yeah, it's such a good storyline. Oh.
Now this one is great. The high numbered new Defenders are super low print count. Print counts are hard to find. Problem is, it's got a sticker on the back. I can probably get that off.
But that was the one I threw in because I couldn't do anything with that.
This makes me think of the infamous Thor cover with the Executioner and the two AK-47s.
Well, it's the first time the Hulk with a gun, just like he was doing when he became Professor Hulk.
And he is holding a 50 caliber machine gun here, a big, huge tank buster. That's incredible. But this actually, issue number 145 is one I don't have in a regular cover. I don't think. I'll check later. But anyways, awesome book, awesome book, awesome book. I'm going to try and speed this up a little bit here. Get sidetracked with some, again, another one. There's 144. Is this also a Mark Jeweler?
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to make sure I mark these so I know.
Maybe I should.
Who the heck is that on the cover? But you should be putting little stickers, little round stickers that says Mark Jeweler variant. And,
I probably should. I'll do that from now on.
Because the new Defenders was the Gargoyle, Angel, and the Beast, and sometimes Black Widow. Oh, this is definitely a Witching Hour book. Vampirella Strikes.
I cannot find another one of that one.
Our own personal flotation devices. Okay.
Yep.
It's always interesting. I always get books from Michael I don't get anywhere else. There's a good Iron Man, 303. Because if I'm not mistaken, the last box I got from you, I got 299, 300, 301. Good Cap in the Falcon book. This is one of those fold-out covers. Issue number 10 was when they relaunched the Avengers. This I don't know anything about. Other than that is Metallo.
Yeah.
Which I have some of his early comics that I got from my dad. I don't know who the Pink Girl is. Who's the Pink Girl?
I don't remember. But you got Black Lightning right there.
One.
You got Black Lightning, Katana, Geoforce.
Metamorpho.
Is that
Geoforce.
Metamorpho? That's what his name is.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that Dial H for Hero in the center?
No, that's Geoforce. And then I think it's Argent to the far left.
Got me out of my wheelhouse. More cool Cap books. Certainly in the late 90s period where everybody was super muscle bound. They all looked like professional wrestlers.
They had sprayed on costumes.
I better check all these from Mark Jewelers. This is a great one. Look at that. Streets of Poison. This is where he's battling the crack epidemic, if I'm not mistaken. Here's an icon.
Oh, yes. No. Streets of Poison. I love that series. No, he's in an explosion, and it wasn't crack. They had to make up a drug for it. So I think they called it like ice or something.
But it was
bonded to the super soldier serum, so they had to end up removing it. And his final fight, he's a normal guy.
But they were addressing the crack epidemic.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah. It was the whole Dare era. The one thing about this is the way he draws him. He draws him as a bodybuilder. You know, and Captain America always kind of had a leaner build than that. He look at his jawline. Like, look at his jaw.
Nah, he's always been kind of big. I don't think
he's always.
Very early, the first couple comics back in the 40s. Yes, I'll agree with you. But even into the Silver Age, he was drawn pretty thick. Even the Kirby era. But yeah, okay, I get you. I mean, all of them kind of look like bodybuilders at this stage, right? But you notice what is he holding there, Carlos?
A sai? Wait, you mean Bullseye?
Yeah.
He's holding a sai.
Of who? Whose sai is that?
Well, Elektra's.
Elektra's, right?
Right, yeah.
That's soon after he killed Elektra.
Oh, yeah. Time. Yeah, it does line up. Wow.
I don't know anything about this one.
John Byrne Goodness.
John Byrne Goodness. Okay.
Wasn't that a limited series by John Byrne? Like a 6-issue or something?
It was where they were bringing the pre-crisis to a close and after crisis.
That is a great issue. I remember reading that one. Great issue. Oh, here's a good one. Versus the Dragon Man. This was another one I've actually read, 248. Is this a Mark Julie?
No, not that one. It was
with Ricky Barnes.
Yeah.
Now, this is one I bought a lot of copies of. Michael's the one who turned me on to this. This is Natalie Sanders. She's one of my new favorite female artists. Natalie did a fantastic job with this. This is kind of like the first comic that I knew that she had done, so I'm always on the lookout for Natalie Sanders now. I think she did a really good job at that.
Mm-hmm.
Justice League America, don't know anything about this. I Scarabus. Who knows? Here's a good looking book. I feel like I should know who that artist is. Drawing them thick. I don't know. Who is that, Michael?
Paolo Pantalera or something like that.
Drawing them thick.
Thick leather. The great.
That's looking super 90s Wonder Woman. Look at that hair.
Think of his name.
Good night.
Kevin McGuire.
Oh, the Great Amalgam series. This is like the crossover of Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
They mashed them together to create these new character teams. So this is X-Men and JLA. Another great book from that same run with Ricky Barnes. And that, I believe that's Sin, right? That's this Liefeld obviously did these.
Yeah. Yep.
Liefeld cover, but I believe that's Red Skull's daughter, right? Sin or not? No, I don't know who that is. Okay,
Gotta ask Rob Liefeld.
this is a great book. Avengers, Namor.
Yes.
With Moonstone.
That's a Mark Jewelers.
I was gonna say this feels like a Mark Jewelers. Getting to be where I can feel it. Oh, this is the book that shut down the auction. We had to pull down the auction. I'm not going to show you this one.
The continuation of the Kevin.
I forgot I got this from you because I can't get a hold of that. It's in a poly bag, so I'm never going to open the poly bag. But this is the infamous book that shut down the auction.
Yeah.
So just for historical purposes below.
I might have heard something about that.
It
You
was
guys can behave.
Beyond Risque. Midsummer's Nightmare, playing off the Midsummer's.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, Justice League. This was what formed the new. That was the one. That was the storyline that formed that iteration of the Justice League.
Superman with the long hair.
Right, and Captain Hook version of Aquaman. Another signed Red Sonja versus Thulsa Doom. Thulsa Doom, such an excellent character design, an awesome character. He kind of like had a skull in the comics. Thulsa Doom was played by James Earl Jones in the movie, super iconic role. They didn't make too many movies like Conan. It was a heads above the rest.
Yeah.
There's Thulsa Doom in his snake form. Another signed book. Great artwork. You guys will have to help me out with this one. Crisis, the All-Star Squadron. Looks like there's some crossovers going on here.
Oh, hey. Now you're talking. That's my jam right there.
So who do we got there? Hawk Girl and Yellow Cape Guy and Dr. Fate.
Our man, Dr. Fate.
Octopus Face and creepy guy with glasses. Okay. Ooh. What is this, Michael? This
That's
another
the sketch cover.
Wow. Did you just buy like a grab bag from him?
He did what it was 50 grab bags and it was kind of like what you said, grab bag, but then the rest he MT bought from.
I buy stuff from him and he ships it to me every couple months. Like I got a big one big box and a large flat rate and a medium flat rate. So
Right.
usually I get them to ship me every couple months. So
Right.
I mean, Michael's got great stuff that nobody else has, and he has a lot of signed books. And people sleep on his lots an awful lot, and they really shouldn't. Now, I'll be more than happy to part with all these DC I don't know anything about, but maybe I'll learn myself something, and maybe they'll be worth keeping. But
El Green Machine DC did do Mark Jewelers. They're
Yes, there
Yes.
are El Green.
yes, not as many as Marvel, but they did do. In fact, if you IG me, I have the master list of all National Diamond and Mark Jeweler insert books in a PDF
Wow.
that are known about. But again, you can't trust somebody with a stapler these days. I got to pick. But at any rate, I've taken up enough time. We got to see some cool books. I know some people like the pull box type books just to see different covers of different stuff. So hopefully that was at least somewhat entertaining for the gang, for the crowd, for the greater viewing audience. But we will kick it over to Michael.
Cool. MT, I'm interested in those All-Star Squadrons.
Yeah, All Star is always been tells the backstory of the DC universe.
Got
Yeah.
a bunch of those.
This is what I bought back issue wise from Black Friday and Thanksgiving. Like, this is real high grade, so I was real happy to find this. Fantastic Four teaming up with Submariner to take down the Magneto.
Awesome.
Number 104, so early.
Early.
Yep. And I found the two-part Thing versus Hulk in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Anytime Hulk and Thing fights, always
Thing
got-
gets his ass kicked.
but those-
Wait, hey, Michael. I'm sorry. I gotta steal a camera back for just a second.
All right.
If you're still watching, this is the Requiem Silver Surfer.
Oh yeah,
Esad Ribic cover. Of course, you know I love Esad Ribic. This was a very, very good Silver Surfer story. It was only like 4 or 5 issues long. Well worth the read. And what I consider to be the greatest Silver Surfer comic of all time, is Life Form, part 404 in the annual. This is the inspiration for the infamous Rosie O'Donnell, Dawson's Creek Trapper Keeper issue of South Park. And recently, Rick and Morty just did this too. It's like this big beast that just like eats up everything and keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes along. And then he's got to kill this thing. But absolutely iconic comic book that seems to get used in cartoons all the time. But anyways, those are my 2 Silver Surfer choices. Sorry about that. Go, Michael.
and I also found this where Monsters Dwell number 32
Ooh,
of Frankenstein,
yeah, don't go far with that one.
and I don't know, with these sales, you would not believe what you would find.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wow.
That is the Alex Ross Timeless series, and that is a sketch variant of
Yeah.
Iceman.
Just would not believe.
But that was Iceman, Michael.
Yeah, that was the Iceman one. That was Marauders number 13, and this is Marauders 21, the David Finch. Not a lot of stores had them, and they just had it for half off. And I was like, wow. And I got the 3rd appearance of Power Girl, so picked up 2 copies of it. This is the
Nice.
first part to MT's book that he's had.
Yeah, that first appearance of Vulcan, right?
Yeah, so I picked up 2 copies. And if anybody doesn't know, there was a lot of people. I had to wait my turn to get to these books, and people still don't know. You got seasoned comic book
Blade.
readers, and they don't know. But this is Man Wolf taking over Creatures on the Loose. But this is the one to get. Carlos, you know what this is?
Is that his first solo story?
No, this is
That one right there is the one you want because it's got the agent in it that's supposed to be in the Blade series. I can't
Right.
remember what the agent's name is, but that's the second appearance of Man Wolf. But that one, I should know what that is, and I can't remember.
it's the first George Perez cover,
Oh, okay.
Oh.
and people were just passing it up.
First George Perez on that run, or first George Perez period?
Period. If you look it up, it will say first George Perez work on cover.
Wow.
Oh,
And
yeah, those Middleton Batgirls.
Paul's been showing off the first one that hit high dollar. This is actually the second one that's high dollar, and they just had it just out in the open.
Who did that one?
Joshua Middleton.
Joshua Milton. Okay.
So the one that Paul's been selling for around $100, this is going just as high as quickly too.
Huh. Interesting.
And I also picked up Venom #1, real high grade.
Can never go wrong with those. And
And
that's another one that I love the direct more than the newsstand because you get the extra artwork in the box.
yeah, so I picked up. They had two. So I picked them up. I still haven't finished processing them. They still got the price tag, and I bought this
Oh, yes.
to replace one that I have signed. I have this one signed by Chris Claremont, Art Adams, and Walter Simonson. So I found this, and it's real high grade to replace what I have.
One of my favorite comics. Loki gives Storm the power of Thor, and that's how she gets her powers back. And
But
that plays
it
into
also-
what
It
if.
also has her in the Asgardian armor, which is
Yep.
really hot.
Fire.
This is another book that I had to buy to replace one that I have multiple signatures on. One of them being J. Scott Campbell and Brian Stelfreeze. Brian Stelfreeze did the cover. So I found this in high grade, and it's to replace one that I have multiple signatures on. And I found this one in newsstand.
Nice.
And if you don't know, it's not just Chris Claremont did not write this, but Ann Nocietti wrote it, and I also got this one too.
Did you get issue number 3?
No, this is the only two that I found. But look at that She-Hulk.
Yeah, that She-Hulk is the what is it? The Jane Foster, the Jazzercise. The Jazzercise.
Yeah. But just look how cute she is on this one.
Right.
But anyways, Art Adams art, Phil Patricio inker.
We got their first Mojo World and first Long Shot, right?
Yeah, Spiral is in number 2 or 3.
3.
3, okay. And MT, I picked up another one, but
There you go.
this is not the error. This is not the error book.
Yep. Thank
But
God. Michael 54. I have never actually seen the error variant.
No, me neither. And this guy had this. Look at this.
Nice.
Number 2, newsstand. Come on.
Always worth picking up.
And in high grade.
Right.
I don't see any ticks on it. And they just had it. Everybody's just passing these books up. And of course, I had to pick up another one of these.
Yep. Very nice.
But I've also got into the. I'll skip that one. Then here, this is another one that I have. I have a copy of when it came out.
Now it's a Harris book, right?
Yeah. But they have the Adam Hughes Vampirella.
Oh, nice.
For half off.
Yowza.
And you know these Adam Hughes slabs are hundreds of dollars each. This is another Adam Hughes. This one, as a matter of fact, look what I did. I got multiple copies.
Nice. Can't go wrong there.
And this one too. I think they started reprinting them into the new Vampirella series.
That
And they're in a high ratio. But these are the originals.
right.
These are the ones that first came out. This one, I know they reprinted it as a incentive variant for the new Vampirella series in the past 2 years. But here's the original.
Wow. That's one I don't have.
I think the poster's missing,
Oh, is it? Okay.
but it's not the Adam Hughes poster. So you really, who cares? And then here's another Adam Hughes goodness.
Bodybuilder stuff. Yep. More hairs.
And I also went ahead. I found some. Put the sticker on.
I see some Jim Lee.
No,
Oh, the X-Men Adventures. Yeah.
Started finding these.
If you are coming to Pop Culture PowerCon, these are the books to bring with you to have signed.
Yep. Andrew Wildman did the interiors. Get the voice of Wolverine to sign it. And like I was telling Carlos, here we go. So got the Daredevil,
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
nice.
the Mike Zeck cover with the Todd McFarlane interior. Not just that, since people don't know what they're looking at sometimes, and sometimes they do. This is the Todd McFarlane G.I. Joe.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So
Easy to pick out with that crazy hat.
I picked up 3 of them. One in newsstand. There's a third one,
And tell people what issue number that is.
number 60. And it has multiple first appearances in it also.
Like every G.I. Joe comic.
And
Every single issue.
I like the Bill Sienkiewicz vampire story on X-Men.
Right. And what's iconic about that cover?
You got Dracula, you got Storm being the vampire queen.
It is the cover homage to the infamous Avengers and Crisis on Infinite Earth with Superman and Supergirl.
See, I don't know what came first because this is 82. So that
Now, what came first was way before that was Avengers, and there was one that was similar to that in Journey into Mystery.
right.
But that is the most homaged cover swiped image in the comics.
And then I picked this one up too.
With over 60 examples.
It's always
Yeah,
a
that's
good one.
die cut.
Die cut cover, Bill Sienkiewicz pinup. This is also replacing another one of mine. I have in my PC. I have the pinup signed by Bill Sienkiewicz, and never sent it to CGC because I think it was before CGC ever existed. So I picked this one up, high grade, newsstand, just sitting there in the wild. And same thing with Hellraiser #1, replacing another one of mine that has multiple signatures. Mine has Bernie Wrightson signed it, John Bolton, cover artist, signed it.
It's
And
Michael's 54. It's Journey into Mystery number 110, where he's holding Jane Foster.
I don't see anything wrong with this book being a prestige format. I don't see anything wrong with it. So I'm happy that they had it.
It doesn't have
This
doesn't
is
have the
another,
color break where you
No,
open it to read it.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Nice.
I don't see no ticks. Just might have something with the corner, but that's like manufacturer.
Still, that's an iconic and highly
Yeah.
desirable comic because I had somebody asking me about that book. Remember?
And the last book that I got that is from the sales, which is one that I could not believe. I could not even believe what I paid for. You would shit your pants if you knew what I paid for this book.
But yes, Michael, the Odin holding Thor is in the Thor 127, but the Journey and Mystery 110 is earlier. Wildcats.
#1, signed by Jim Lee.
Nice.
Just
Nice.
wild, just laying there.
Wow.
Variant,
You would not know. You would not believe what I paid for it.
$1.27.
Yeah, sure.
How much was it, Michael?
I can't reveal. I cannot reveal.
Okay.
I can't reveal.
All right. Well, you built it up.
Think I'm gonna. This is. I believe this is easily submittable to CGC.
Well, no, it's already signed, so you
all I
can't
got
go.
It's a CBCS, Michael.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll wait for Jim Lee to show up, and I'll ask him, "Hey, man, can you work with me? I'll even pay for his signature price."
Let me tell you how hard it is to get embossed foil covers in high grade. Nigh impossible.
Yeah.
Or I might sell it because I have another copy
Well,
unsigned. I have another copy unsigned.
can't be afraid to share the wealth.
All right, that's it for this round. I got some more that go pull out of the box. Mark Jewelers coming up next.
Bottom tier collector says gold foil Wildcats #1. That's kind of rare. I've never seen that. Well, me.
Yeah, it was a very rare. I think it was one per store, and a lot of them were signed by Jim Lee Raw. So hey, this is going to be our final round, folks. I'm going to show off a couple books and then move it along very quickly. I have talked about this book before. This is it's called Sacrament. If you're into anything to do with like theology or spirituality, Christianity, this is a cool book. It's an interesting book. It's a science fiction set in the future, and it tells a story of a jaded priest, an intergalactic jaded priest who flies around performing a digital version of sacraments. And it is just, he's losing his faith. It does have a little bit of content issues, but it's a very interesting story because it doesn't go the direction that you would think. It's not that kind of loss of faith, and he doesn't recover it. In point of fact, as he encounters a demonic, what he suspects is a demonic entity, he actually begins to regain his faith. So this is issue #1 that I had already picked up a while back.
Yeah, we talked about that. What do you mean by content issues?
It's got some language, and then later on there's a couple of nudity because he does when he's losing his faith, he does have a couple of relations with a couple of ladies, and then later on he does look at like his female assistant and has like this kind of when she's possessed, she exposes herself to him. But I still thought, it was a solid story. So it's interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
I said mature content.
Yeah, there's mature content, but I'm still liking where it goes, and I'm very much looking forward to issue #5, which is going to be the final one. I had picked up issue #2. And then this past time that I went to, I think like 2 weeks ago, I went to my LCS. I went ahead and picked up issue #3 because I had missed it. And then I also picked up issue #4. And then I have #5 on my request list at my local comic shop. So I'm going to get to finish the story. Yes, Sacrament is brand new. I don't think so either, El Green, but it is what it is with some of them, and so
Who's the publisher, Carlos? Tell us the publisher.
It's AWA Upshot. They're the same ones who did what do you call it? Erratic, and some others that I've been a big fan of, Keeping Up with the Joneses, and It was like Batteries Not Included, but I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, it's interesting. Like if you're into like Christianity or like kind of like the whole exorcism kind of thing and angle, spirituality and just science fiction, which is kind of like a combination of a bunch of things that I'm into. I thought, hey, it was neat. I picked up the first issue. I liked it. I just realized somehow my first issue got damaged, so I'm gonna have to find another copy. This one's like really jacked up. I don't know what happened to it. But yeah, so I've got issues 1 through 4, and I'm going to be picking up 5 when it comes out, I think in a couple weeks. So yeah, check it out. Check out issue number 1, but do be aware there's some mature content there. So I know there's been some conversations around Hollow's Eve. She's the new Spider-Man villain. This is her first appearance, not her first cover. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 14, so I picked this up. Possibly as a giveaway at some point here. Picked up a couple of copies of Yoda number 1 up because
the one Michael got there too.
Yeah. It's so it's kind of like the Obi-Wan limited series that from several months back. It tells like kind of a history and fleshes out the character a little bit more. So I was interested in the Yoda one. The Obi-Wan Kenobi one, I did not finish all of it, but I think it's a decent.
Does that have a movie photo variant like the other ones did?
Yep.
I don't think so.
No, it did. It sold out quickly.
Did it really?
Yes, I couldn't get one.
I don't do the Wednesday Warrior thing at all anymore. So because Wednesdays have just gotten so busy for me at work that it's very difficult to sneak over there or to run over there and get in. Even by Friday, sometimes I'm not able to make it. I got the Fantastic Four 52 facsimile. These are always fun to have. Then I got, as I shared earlier, there is the cover A for G.I. Joe number 300. I've got these fresh in Mylars with clear backer boards. Every G.I. Joe character ever on this cover, front and back. Super sweet.
I still don't have one. I tried to pre-order the Virgin variant of this, and they had to cancel my order.
Yeah, wow. So here's, you can see they've got all of them. This was the cover A, so I did go ahead and I snagged 2 of them.
Oh, you didn't?
Yes, I sure did.
Put my name on one of those. I need one.
I'm going to take it to the Larry Hama signing.
Okay.
Okay. So this was something. This was a hard lesson learned for our buddy Paul. I saved these because I consider it the best for the last. Hard lesson learned for Paul to never just walk by some comic books. I had a stack of comic books on one of the recent sales. I think on Black Friday. Paul was in the store with me. Came up. He picked up a stack of books that I had, flipped through them, and then just put them right back down, never even realizing what they were. So I'll go ahead and show this and let y'all see if you can see that.
Star Stamp, Mark Jeweler?
Yep.
There you go, El Green Machine.
Plus or minus, needs a press and clean, a blue Mark Jewelers insert.
So that's like that's one of the earliest Mark Jewelers, because it was that was right after they switched from National Diamond. So that's a very early Mark Jewelers.
Yep. So, but that wasn't the only one. This one also did not have a star stamp, but this is also a Mark Jewelers here as well.
You check the back cover.
I've been with me paying attention to DC books. I've come across, we all have seen them. I've come across quite a few Mark Jewelers. And then this was not a Mark Jewelers, but it's a really neat cover. And I've not seen the DC logo in that color combo before.
Oh yeah,
so I thought that was kind of cool looking. But yeah, this is my era of Justice League right here. This is when I felt like they had all the best characters. Because they had Red Tornado, Firestorm, along with Hawkman, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, just all of them. And here they are tied up with the JSA for a murder mystery. This is in about a 6.0. And then I went ahead and picked up the last issue of the series, issue number 261, In the Wake of the Legends miniseries. This was a 9.0. These are plus or clean. Needs plus or 9.0 plus or minus. Justice League of America, the final chapter.
Who's on the cover there? It looks like Owlman from.
That's Vixen.
That's Vixen right there. And
They
then these
consider
are
that-
all.
Hey,
What?
Paul, Carlos, you ever heard them refer to that team of Justice League as the Detroit Justice League? No, for real.
No.
Yes,
No.
they're referred to as the Detroit Justice League.
Yeah.
Who is Vixen?
She has kind of like Beast Boy, but she cannot transform. She just can get like kind of like Animal Man. She can derive the animal powers that are nearby.
Yeah.
But she
I don't
change-
know who either of those other two characters.
She doesn't change shape.
See,
But
and
Carlos,
that's-
they were called the Detroit Justice League because they didn't have the superpowered heroes in that team. They were like the third stringers.
Man, no, look, Michael, look, you don't have to be courteous. They were like the Z-listers.
Yeah, I was trying to be courteous, but yeah,
They were,
but they were
and it was sad because it was a more diverse group,
right.
but yeah, it just, it was not the Justice League that I remembered. And see, that's what I liked was the idea of like the A-listers, the A-listers, B-listers, C-listers, even a couple of the D-listers all on the Justice League together, rotating through. And that's just a whole lot of fun. El Green, I don't have it, but I'd love to get them because I love Firestorm. I have a signed CGC Signature Series Firestorm over there. I have a Wizard book that has a Red Tornado article you might like. Yeah, I'd love to see that, Michael's Comics. Yeah, I'd love to see that. So, hey, those are the last of my pickups for the past week to week and a half. So I'm going to go ahead and pass things along to MT, and let's see what else he has. We're going to try to bring this puppy in for a landing soon here. So, MT.
Well, I think we're running long, and
Okay.
I ran home from work, got on the computer, so I got some stuff to try and do. It's 1 o'clock. I gotta get up in 5 hours. Still got some books to pack, so I'm done. Thank you
All right.
guys, appreciate it. That's all from me. Come back
All right.
next week. Michael, awesome having you on. We've been trying to get you on for a while, so really great having you on to show your pickups, your 50% off haul. I've been chatting about it here for a while, but thanks for having me on, Carlos. Thanks.
Yeah, always.
Appreciate you, and come back and see Carlos on the Wednesday giveaway show. So.
Awesome.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
thanks,
I'm out of here.
MT.
Thanks,
We'll see
guys.
you, buddy. All right. Michael Presas, you got anything else to show us?
You know what? I think the same thing. I think we ought to end right now. I have a stack of Mark Jewelers and then the slabs. Which, like I
We'll
said,
save them for the next show.
my big promise is one of those slabs is the closeout.
Nice. All right. Well, hey, so everybody who is here, thank y'all so much for being a part of the chat tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us, to the almost 20 people that have been here throughout the night and just checking in on us, hanging out. It is always a pleasure to hang out with you. Always a pleasure to show you some of the books that we've got, that we've chosen and picked. I am Carlos Collects Comics. And like MT mentioned, we do have our Wednesday night show, the giveaway show, that'll be happening also 10 p.m. Central. And make sure to tune in Friday. I'm going to push hard now that I'm well after being sick for a few weeks. Looking forward to sharing another video on Friday night at 10 p.m. Central. So make sure you tune in. But again, thank y'all for being here. And we're going to go ahead and sign out. This is Carlos and Michael Presas. We are signing out. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. So bye-bye. There you go. He's already got a stack. All right, we'll see you guys.